Hello and welcome to Mistakes Were Made. This was a channel I created to document my family's progress in debt reduction and eventual elimination. We are focusing right now on credit card debt, car loans, personal loans, things like that. Mortgage will come in time, but we need to clean up this other mess first before we start to tackle that. Oops. My goal today is to do our stuffing for our cash envelopes for the first pay period of January. If you're familiar with our channel, first of all, welcome back. Appreciate having you here. And if you are not familiar with our channel, if this is the first video you're seeing, welcome. I hope you find something of interest. We budget currently based on pay period. My partner's pay comes, the more standard every 2 weeks. My pay is twice a month. So we found merging those two, it was easiest for us to do it by a first half of the month, second half of the month kind of pay period cadence. And so for the 1st through the 15th of January is what we are working in right now. And we are going to stuff the envelopes that we have scheduled to stuff during that time period. Now, just as a reminder or new news, if you're new, some of these envelopes we only stuff during the first half of the month, some only during the second half, and some we do stuff each pay period. So let's see what we are working with today. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 50, 800, 20, 40, 60, 80, 900, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1000, 10, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So $1,078 is what we are going with today. So let's get that looking all nice and tidy in here. Okay. And just pop those the other way. Okay, perfect. So let's see what we're doing today. So AAA is not one that we fund this pay period. So I'll just put it to the back. Neither are birthdays, but car maintenance is, and it is going to get a $100 bill. So let's see, we had $25 in there before, so 125 is where we are now. So this is going to cover, the typical oil changes, if I need to do any particular service, but I think I'm also going to include the cost of getting the car tags renewed as well. I don't need to do that this year, but I will need to do that next year. Christmas is one that gets funded twice a month, so during both pay periods. And this time around it gets $12. So we'll do a 10 and 2 ones. And let's see where we're at with that. Okay, so we've got 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Uh-oh, there we go. These things are still a little bit stubborn and stiff because they are pretty new. We just recently got them, I think, in December. I don't think we had them in November. Time is a blur anymore, so we're still kind of breaking them in. Okay, clothing does not get funded this time. Dining out does, and it gets $50. So we're gonna do 2 20s and do I want to do, yeah, we'll do 2 5s, 2 20s and 2 5s. So that'll be our 50. All right, get in there, you little bugger. There we go. Entertainment is also going to get 50. We'll do the same thing, 2 20s and 2 5s. You might be wondering, well, why do you have an entertainment as well as dining out? For us, the dining out is going to be, you know, going to the restaurant, buying food along the way for whatever endeavor we're doing. Entertainment is going to be the cost of whatever venue we're going to. So if we go to a concert, that would be the entertainment cost. If we're going hiking and there's parking fees, that would be the entertainment cost. We go bowling, you know, the cost to rent your shoes and the lane, that would be covered by this. Whereas the food, if we decide to, you know, eat at the bowling alley, would come out of the dining out piece. Gardening and yard is going to get $20. So 2 10s and a 5. Oh, come on. Gas is going to get 100. Gifts, we are not funding this time, but giving we are. It gets a $5 bill. Groceries gets $100 per week. So for the first half of the month, that's going to be 2 weeks or $200. Groceries, along with entertainment, or well, I guess I'd put that in a little bit different category. Groceries, like gas, is funded each pay period. So once the old pay period is over, it's considered done and closed out. So anything that's left over, we do not roll it over into the next period. Now for ones like entertainment and dining out, those are funded for the month based on, you know, whenever we actually fund it. It's during the first half for those two. So when we get into the second half of the month, we will, if there's any money left in there, we will not clear it out. We'll wait until the end of the month to see what we might have not spent, and then we would remove those funds for it to be re-upped at the beginning of February. So groceries is getting $200. I don't know if that's confusing or weird or anything like that, but it makes sense to me, and since I'm the one that manages this, that's all that's important. Okay, household gets $25, so we will do 2 10s and a 5. License fees is a new category. I had completely forgotten that not only do I have business license fees that come due every year, but this year my driver's license needs to be renewed. So we have created this one, and we are going to be funding it at $34 per pay period, not per month, but per pay period. And the reason for that is the business license comes due in March, and so I want to make sure I have time to save that money up. And then in the middle of the year is when my driver's license will come due. We're probably going to change the amount that we're saving once that has been saved up for the driver's license, because obviously that's an every 4 year. I don't know if you can actually do 8 years at a time now. We'll just say every 4 years. So the focus will then just be on the business license, which is due every year, and we wouldn't need to be funding essentially $68 a month to meet the cost for that. It was just that both of those are coming due this year, and I completely blanked it out, and we need to do a lot of catch up. So we are going to be doing $34. So we've got a 20, oopsie, a 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. There we go. Miscellaneous, we will come back to mom loan. So we just paid my mom $1,000 towards the personal loan that she gave to us. We have about $2,000 left, so it was nice to be able to make that sizable payment. She gets $250 a month into the cash envelope, and then when it gets up to $1,000 is when we do the payback. She does not have any specific payback schedule that we need to be following. In particular, if she happened to say, oh, hey, I could use some money, if whatever we would have at the time, we would then give to her if needed. So we're at $250 there. Pets do not get any money this time around. Prime doesn't get anything right now. Savings, this is one that we do fund each pay period, and it's funded at $185 per pay period. And the last time, which is also the first time I did a filmed cash stuffing, we had $1,020 in here, and I mentioned I need to create some kind of placeholders, and one of you guys suggested using a index card. I don't think we have any, so I'm gonna have to kind of look around and see if I have some kind of alternative that I could use. I was thinking maybe cutting from a cardboard box from like some kind of packaging that we have, but I think that might end up being a little too thick. But there may be some kind of paper product that I have around, maybe in my craft room somewhere, that I could put together something that'll work, because this is getting a little bit crunchy, a little full. So we are doing 185. So we've got 100, a 50, a 20, a 10, and a 5. And there's our 10, 20, let's move this a little bit, 50, and the 100. So let's count this out. We've got 100, 50, 200, 50, 300, 50, 400, 50, 500. I'm gonna put that to the side. 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 20, 40, 60, 80, 700, 20, 40, 60, 80, 800, 20, 40, 60, 80, 900, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1000, 50, 70, 90, 110, 120, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 85, 90, 95, 1200, and 5. Okay. So, not too shabby, $1,205 saved there. Now, you might be wondering, oh my goodness, why do you have $1,205 in cash? Obviously, once I get my placeholder, we'll probably put 1,000 of this back into the bank. But this is one of the savings mechanisms that we have to help save up money for when my job goes away. So in a perfect world, my job would either be staying the way it is, or I'd have a new amazing job, and this kind of money we would be putting towards credit card debt and things like that. But we are not there at the moment. We need to make sure that we have a suitable amount of money on tap for the time period that I'll be looking for a new job, especially because it's not guaranteed that once I file for unemployment, that those unemployment checks will be super timely. One of you mentioned in one of the comments on a previous video that you didn't get your first unemployment check for 12 weeks. And that, if we need to have these savings, because we would not be able to survive for essentially 3 months without any kind of income coming in unless we had savings to work with. So that is why we are saving as much as we are currently, and hopefully we do enough and I am able to get a job quick enough that everything works out. Okay, next is taxes. Taxes is another new one, and like a bonehead, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that with my Etsy shop, I need to claim those funds. And I know there's some folks who will say, oh, well, if you don't make more than $600, you don't need to claim it. No, any income, the government is very, very clear. Any income you do need to claim. You may not end up having to pay taxes on it, but you need to claim it. So I am very diligent about that, and between the income that I've made and the cost for materials and everything, I don't know if there's going to be some additional tax costs for me, but I want to make sure I save at least a little bit of money for that. And we are going to be doing $42 per pay period, mostly because we hadn't started saving earlier, back like in October. So we need to condense some of that money and get it paid more quickly, similar to the licensing stuff that I had forgotten about. So $42, got 2 20s and $2. Okay, and that is our $1,078 taken care of. We had some money in left over from groceries from last time, which is 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. That is going to go into our miscellaneous envelope. And this will be used to help shore up any categories where we may actually spend a little bit more than we have budgeted for in the cash arena. Additionally, if we have an unexpected cost that doesn't really fit in any of our categories, we could pull from here and just put it into the checking account. If we don't need to dive into this, it'll continue to fill, and once we get to a certain point, we may pull it and apply it to credit card debt, or maybe even do some kind of savings challenge with it. So that's where we are, right? Well, vacation we're not doing anything with, and these savings challenges that I made, we're not there just yet, and ready to do savings challenges probably after I find my new job is when that'll get into the rotation. But thank you for watching. I hope it was interesting, and of course, as always, if you have any comments, feedback, things like that, please drop them below. I read each and every one of them, and I try to respond in some way to all of them. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch what we're doing. We'll see you in the next one.